Hello everyone, it's Waning Moonlight, and welcome to the Elden Ring Shadows of the Erdtree DLC. Now, I'm pretty excited for this. I stayed up originally till midnight to play it, but then, well, I didn't know I would need to download. Took an hour, so I had to wait till the next day to play it. But it was definitely worth the wait as I enter into it. Now, unlike my normal bits, my normal videos, I'm gonna have a little bit of just wandering around, just to show everything off, exploring the area and whatnot. First, I make my way to the first boss I was able to find. Black Gold Knight. Now this boss, as you can see, was ready to test people who enter the DLC. Absolutely wiped out my HP bar. I've seen some people go and play him, people would be like level 300, and this man would just still wipe them out super quickly. So that made me feel a little bit better. Especially for losing right there, when I was so close. As this just plays in the background, I'm just going to talk about the DLC as a whole. Now, I've been enjoying it so far. I don't know how far into it I am. It's kind of hard to judge when I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing in it. Like, I know the rough goal, obviously find bosses, beat them, but I don't know where I need to go. I've been wandering around different areas, lakes, mountains, valleys, and every single time I think, okay, this is it. Now I'm making some progress. I realize I've gone nowhere. But still, despite me being lost, it's been an extraordinarily fun time playing it. The new weapons and bosses have all been so interesting to play. It's definitely, so far from what I've done, one of the best From Software DLCs. To get back to this boss though, they've got a very interesting build. Their bow, if you people have played Dark Souls 3, may be reminiscent of the Gale crossbow, repeating crossbow, when they even share a name. And this one is, I don't know how damage-wise, how much better it would be, but I think it definitely shoots more arrows than Gale did. However, when you beat this man, for some reason, it is not dropped with him. You have to find it later on by just exploring around. But either way, once you beat him, you unlock most of his stuff, well, everything else. Because as he goes down, you get his sword and armor. And his sword's pretty solid. I tried it out against a few bosses, did some pretty solid damage. And his armor is better than the Beast Champion. So it's one of the most defensive sets in the game, which, makes it pretty good. Only issue is it's extraordinarily heavy. So as you may watch, I'm gonna change the armor as I play through everything. And then I go and challenge one of these fire things. Now, surprisingly, it is not a boss. I was waiting and waiting for that boss health bar, but it never showed. Then I saw how much damage I was doing. With my most powerful build, barely scratching it. Which is, of course, a little worrying, so tried Torrent, tried riding around it. I mean, it went better. But the fire just... oof. I got to learn very many of these, and they drop new items for your wondrous physic. Some very special new DLC drinks you can add to it, which I'll show those off later because we will come back to this guy, just not right now. But just for now, I got to get hit again by wandering around him. But I wanted to explore a little bit more. I wanted to find those items that you need. Because for those who haven't played it yet, there are two fragments you can find. One that increases your attack and how much damage you do, and one that increases your defense and how much damage mitigation you can avoid. Now, I'm not entirely sure which one does which. I didn't really read them yet, and honestly, I probably should. But to my knowledge, they can just kind of be found really anywhere, wandering around. But the reverse spirit ashes, I found way more of, just near statues. And these bits right here, the scarred fragment, those are always found at those golden Mikola posts. And typically around those as well are some NPCs. Not always, but a good majority, like 8 out of 10 times you'll find someone to talk to. And you can read them too. They'll give you a little bit of information I found, which is pretty interesting. And it seems like it kind of works like how the flask works, where you need like one to upgrade it once, and a little bit later you'll need two to upgrade it to the next tier, and then you'll need three more to upgrade it to the next, Which is an interesting system for it to work. I was kind of expecting it to be like the Sekiro system, where you just get a few and it upgrades it by a good percent. Like it's the same one every time. So this was probably I should have expected, with it being Elden Ring after all. But then I make my way towards this castle. I find another one of those, which is of course pretty handy. A new guy to talk to.
I am Ansbach, formerly in service to Lord Mo.
And his helmet kind of reminded me a little bit of a Bloodborne armor set with the kind of metal mask on front of him. I don't know if that was just me, or maybe that was the point, but I thought it was interesting.
To discern Tender Mikola's ultimate purpose. I'd rather not volunteer service to a new master unless I know that I can be of use. Our 6 crosses, identical to this one, have been discovered in They are akin to Tender Mikola's footprints, or gravestones. which mark what he's... If you discover any more, be certain to tell me. I presume you, too, just what kind Mikola is doing here.
Now, I'm not doing it much right now, but in later videos, I will be showing off some of the new weapons. Like that guy, the one I just got from beating that boss. That one's a pretty useful one. And I'll talk more about them later as they come up. But the remembrance bosses that I've done so far, both, well, the second one I'll do, has some pretty useful items, but most of them are just okay. Most of the items you find here are just alright. But as we must continue our journey now, as we head into this castle. Now, honestly, it was a little bit of, well, not a little bit, it was a lot of just wandering around, being absolutely confused on where I'm going. Before I went in, I wanted to make sure, for some reason in my head, I thought I had another one of the things to increase my strength. So I had to run back, and obviously, I did not. But make my way into the castle. The whole area was pretty interesting, except for the giant scorpions. I'm not a big fan of fighting the monsters or insects. I don't know why. They're just typically pretty annoying to go against, so I usually just run by them. But here we go. Just to... There was a lot of interesting ways you would have to do this, where it would kind of show you, like, if things were in order. Like, there would be a bridge, like, hey, this bridge is together. That means you need to make it across it, but it's typically broken. Which means, hey, you gotta just find your way around it. Which at first sounds interesting, and it does make it kind of cool. But also, it's like, I wish you would just have the bridge intact. Makes my life a whole lot easier. And they've introduced some new kind of knights, as you saw that guy over there. Pretty fun to fight, actually. A little bit more on the difficult side, but they were definitely intriguing. And there will be a few areas of showing off just to show you where to gather some of the spirit ashes and the fragments, just in case you guys, are looking for some and maybe you walk by them. Might help you increase what you're doing. Anyways, I make my way up, and it's time for the first major boss of the game. And no, it's not that guy. Just ignore that death right there. But now we're on to fight the first extremely cool boss of the game. After I power up, of course. And I'm just gonna let it. I'm gonna try it on my own, of course, first. See what I'm getting myself into.
O horn-decked beast from higher sphere delivered, take root inside the tower's sculpted keepers, and perched within, we beg of thee, rise. Dance with the void, cleanse all and know it. Cruelty, woe, and those who plague the tower. birds flying behind me.
Now, for those of you who watch the advertisements for this game, this is one of the bosses that was very much so advertised, and I did not realize it was like like a guy in there just holding up a mask, wearing a cloak. I thought the entire time it was gonna be a beast, so I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. Well, the boss fight was still definitely worth it, but it's still like, oh, it's not a just person, or it's not just an animal, it's a little dude. But the way it moves is definitely still very intriguing, and definitely one of the most interesting fights I've had in the entire game. Now, I'm just gonna get hit a whole lot, and well, that sucks, as I see it has a phase, a lightning phase. AoE's a little bit harder to dodge, of course, and lightning spears that do that much damage than a lightning breath attack was extraordinarily awesome, except for the fact that I'm out of healing halfway in the fight already. And, well, you can guess how well it's gonna go. And then it has a wind phase. So this thing's like an elemental master, basically. It can change its typing up, which I think was super cool to go against. But I don't show it here, but I ended up helping my brother in it, and he was extraordinarily laggy, like to the point where he'll be standing still and then he would teleport behind me, which absolutely kind of sucked to fight against. Just a man behind you, then throwing a giant lightning storm to the face. But we take him down. Pretty close fight. We get his remembrance. And then I didn't realize, but he dropped an item. Of course, I gotta go see what he dropped. And it's absolutely amazing. He dropped his helmet. And I went to go check what you can get from his remembrance, and it looks like it's just an item, like a talisman, and a frost ashavor. And from what I saw, you cannot get any armor from him, in case you guys were curious of what you get. But we continue on to the next part. Once you beat him, you unlock another doorway and grab another reverse spirit ash. It's of course very handy. Now I gotta make my way up this super long flight of stairs. You can kind of get a good view of the tree from up here, which looks pretty nice actually. We can talk to this random guy. Don't know what he's doing over there. We can make our way to this awesome looking castle and see it's absolutely blocked off. And I'm going to save some time of me wandering around, a little confused, checking everything. So, to my understanding, we need to get Mesmer, defeat him, and use him as a fire. Kind of like when we defeated the fire giant in the base game and roasted the erdtree. We're just doing that again. Just this time. Well, I don't know what's gonna be different. I'm assuming we're just gonna. I haven't gone to him yet. I'm still trying to find my way. But that's what I'm assuming we're gonna happen. Just kill him and use his fire. And then we have no idea what's after the door. Still excited to find out. And then I make my way, realizing I completely forgot to grab the map piece, which would make things a lot more handier. I just go, I'm making the quick stop before continuing on. And that's kind of when I realized how Place This Big is already looking. I mean, from what I heard, they were saying the DLC will be as big as the Limgrave. I mean, it's pretty huge. So looking around it. And here I am just trying to see for cooler places to go, cooler places to visit. And well, there are too many places to wander to. But before anything, I decided I wanted to get my revenge on the fireman. Now ignore once again that horrendous dodge. As I quickly heal up, take out the mimic tier, but take out, I don't know what to call it, so just gonna call it Fire Giant, but better. So better Fire Giant, as you saw earlier, still definitely takes a lot of, well, it's gonna take a lot of hits to defeat. He has a lot of AoE, which is also pretty annoying. However, his attacks are pretty easy to dodge when you're on Torrent. Just walk in a circle. And, I mean, we don't take damage. Because it's on the floor that gets damaged. Of course, doesn't sound good. But, point is, you just gotta really jump. The fire effect lasts longer than it does. And after just circling for a bit, take them down, and you get a thing, the Wondrous Physic tier that increases your like guard, and that weird face thing is a craftable item. Then I'm up here over by the lake, and I'm exploring. Just trying to see what could be around here. Maybe it's the right way to go. Maybe a new boss. I saw a dead dragon. I was like, ooh, maybe it's got an item over here for whatever killed it. And they did. A cool, great katana. And then I absolutely was shocked to see this man again. And, well, obviously, I gotta fight it. I'm doing pretty solid damage to it, so I knew this would be pretty good. A lot of headshots due to the range, and already a poise breaking. And well, you can kind of see how it went. Just do the beam, get the headshot, call it a day. And this will be the end of part 1. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back later for part 2.